Well, it's my birthday today. I turned 35. I'm getting up there. Getting up there. Uh, got some prezzies today. Not that a 35-year-old needs presents, but my fam spoiled me with some things that I like. So this chocolate, man, I'm not a fan of chocolate in general, but I like some chocolate, and Lindt makes really nice chocolate. And I got a handful of them this morning. So I ate one before I worked out. Didn't have breakfast, didn't have anything. So I broke my fast with some freaking chocolate. How's that? Only on a birthday, huh? Also, I got a poster for the gym, for the garage. You know, it's been the talk of the house for the last few weeks, I guess. So my missus organized a poster. I had no idea what she was going to get, but she got me Arnie, the Conquer, the classic image. I guess every gym bro has seen this. It's one of the iconic moments, I guess, in bodybuilding. The interesting thing about Arnie, so I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not, those are not my goals, but I still respect Arnold Schwarzenegger because I feel like he's in the same basket as Michael Jordan when it comes to his own sport. So if I was to walk up to my mother right now and say, you know, do you know Ronnie Coleman? Do you know Lee Priest? Do you know whoever? I'm thinking about the other guy that was with Ronnie Coleman. I can't think of his name right now. I wanted to say someone, but then I said Lee Priest. I don't know why Lee Priest and this other guy always get jumbled up in my mind. The guy that Ronnie Coleman was always competing. My Lord, I can't think of his name. Jay Cutler. God. So if I walked up with my mom and I asked her any of these names, she wouldn't know. But if I said, do you know Arnold Schwarzenegger? Do you know Schwarzenegger? And she would say, of course. Same thing with like Michael Jordan, right? Like Michael Jordan has been goated. He is somebody that everyone knows. I don't even know if my mom would know LeBron James. Maybe she would know Kobe Bryant, but that's only because of me always talking about basketball and, you know, my brother always playing basketball, and that was kind of the talk of the house. But I reckon universally everyone knows Arnie, everyone knows Michael Jordan. It's just one of those things. So I think Schwarzenegger on the wall as a GOAT of all gym training, if you will, I can accept that. You know, I can accept that. He basically popularized the gym world. I don't know what the gym world would look like without Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, it's kind of like, where would the NBA be if Michael Jordan didn't step on the scene and globalize the sport? So I got these two items and I got underway with the day. Started the day off with some GHDs. As fitting as that is, I ended up doing 5 sets of just body weight, and then I did some with the bar. And I was kind of in my back of my mind thinking to myself, I'm going to load this up, maybe put some greens on there, do 40 kilos. But man, it's tough as, man. Like, so today the bar felt, it's not like that I feel like I can't move it, but I literally feel like when I start loading weight on that, I feel like I might tear something. There's a feeling of, I don't even know if it's the hamstring, maybe the medial hamstring, whatever the name of that one is. Semitendinosis maybe, or membranosis. I don't really know the names. The medial one. Or maybe it's the adductor, but like one of them gets really, really close to the feeling of that tear type of sensation. So I have to be really, really careful with that, you know, especially when I'm coming out of the bottom, not to kind of explode up. Like, so I have to use control. You are really kind of in a position to tear muscles like that, because it's like your legs are fully locked in, you know, it's pure hip extension. There's no quad involvement, obviously. So it's not like a good morning where you can kind of bias a little bit to get over a sticky point and get through the motion. And so you're kind of like accumulating reps in the set, but really you're moving more and more away from what you started off hitting, let's say, in a good morning sake. Similar type of experience with the exercise that I did after that. You know, I did some front squats after that, but then I got to the overhead squats. And the overhead squats are kind of like the GHD because it locks you into this pattern, this movement pattern, and it's unforgiving. You know, with the GHD, you can't go nowhere else. You are locked in. There's nothing you can do. You can deviate a little bit, maybe like, arch your back a little bit more so you get more of a lower back pump at the top. But there's nothing you can do because the hip extensors are the hip extensors, the glutes and the hamstrings, maybe some adductors, and that's it. Those are the guys who are doing the work. So you can't go away from that. Similarly, with the overhead squat, I feel the same way. So using the barbell, doing sets of 10, I did 5 sets of 10, and then I moved over to 5 sets of 40 kilos. I did a set of 10, and then I was like, okay, let me try and hit a set of 20. I'm using 40 freaking kilos here. 40 kilos. So with 100 kilos, I've been known to hit 32 reps on the back squat, right? So that's kind of the spectrum here. I can hit 100 reps. I can hit 30 reps with 100 kilos. But with 40 kilos on the bar and the bar being over my head, I did 20 and I was lit up. My quads were on fire. And, I put the bar down and racked it and I sat down. I'm like, what the hell is going on there? And what I've come up with is basically the same explanation as the GHD. This thing locks you in. So somebody like me that has a bias towards the posterior chain, as soon as the thing gets hard, boom, arms goes back, knees go back, I go into the hip hinge type of movement pattern. And so no matter what I do, soon as the going gets tough, my body biases me away from the thing that I'm trying to work, which is the quads, right? That's kind of where my body doesn't want to go. However, with the overhead squat, can't do none of that. I'm sorry, mate. If you stick your ass back and you push your knees back, the bar's going to fall. The bar's going to fall because it's literally impossible to have the bar like that, in that position overhead. So you're going to lose the bar if you try to run away from the weakest link. So this thing forces you to stay underneath the bar in those squats. So here I am using 40 kilos, man, 40 kilos, and I'm getting wrecked. Isn't that freaking interesting? I started thinking about the hack squat. I started thinking about the hack deadlift, like all these things that are just like locking you into this range of motion, into this movement pattern, and you can't go away from it. You are literally locked out of doing something else. So when the going gets hard, guess what? Dig in and take it. This is the way it is, man. You can't go away from it. And so I'm doing rep after rep. I got to 15. Actually, I didn't record this set. It was kind of like spur of the moment thing. I got to 15 and I'm like, what the hell is going on? My quads are on fire. Not only that, but also my wrists are screaming for all mercy. Usually when you have one pain in the body, let's say the wrists are killing you, it overpowers all the other stuff, right? Okay, the wrists are really, really killing me. And then when you rack it, you walk away like, oh my God, also this other thing kills you, but I couldn't pay attention to that because there was another pain. It's kind of like, people used to say all the time, like, oh, your tooth hurts. No worries. Let me give you a corky. Let me knee you in the quad and then tell me if your tooth hurts. It's kind of like that, right? Like, you get distracted. With the overhead squats, my wrists are killing me because they're fully cocked back. And I don't even know if that's the thing you're supposed to do, but that's what I've been kind of noticing with Olympic weightlift is they cock their wrist all the way back. So it's not straight like a punch. It's like, completely out of position in terms of martial arts, but that's what you do. So I'm getting a mighty old stretch on the wrist, so that's really uncomfortable. But over the top of that, I'm getting this quad freaking fire coming in, and I'm like, whoa, okay, so this is significant amount of quad pump. I rack the bar, walk away, I'm like, whoa, like, what is going on here? I'm using 40 kilos, but it's 40 kilos, and these reps are staying in the same damn fibers. I'm not getting reinforcement help from other areas. I'm not doing any of that. You're locked in. And so it's just another example of how you can manipulate. You can manipulate movements into doing exactly what you want. So you can use the 40 kilos, or you can put on maybe 2 plates, 100 kilos, and do a set of 30 with the back squat and get maybe similar a pump. Maybe. Probably not, because well, with the high reps, maybe it is the case because with the high reps you're annihilating everything. Like the posterior chain is going to get tired as well, so it's going to want to go to the anterior chain, and it's going to eventually even out, and you're going to just pass it off into this teamwork type scenario. But if you want to isolate something with the least amount of trouble, then you're going to have to isolate and do an overhead squat. That's just the way it is. 40 kilos, man. 40 kilos, and it's just incredible. To me, it's always a sobering thing. I've got Arnie hanging on the wall, and bodybuilding is a isolation type thing. So if you lend yourself into thinking how they think, their whole idea is, how can I beat the shit out of the muscle without taxing, without asking help from accessory muscles? So, full body training crowd will tell you, why would you do that? Why would you isolate? Why would you do that? Because for the same amount of effort that you spend doing your back squats, you can spend doing all of that effort into one freaking fiber of one muscle. And that's going to tax that fiber 100 times more than it would be when you're doing a whole system, because the whole system requires energy everywhere, nervous system everywhere, and you get burnt out. So you get like this global effect of training, but the local stuff is moderately trained. That's kind of what bodybuilding is. Now, does that mean if you're interested in full body strength and full body movement that you shouldn't do that? I think you can pick and choose what needs to be done in an isolation way. I don't think as a whole body, full body strength, strongman powerlifter, I don't think you should do all of the muscles that way, because that is improper use of training time. But at least some of your time should be spent bodybuilding areas which are lacking, or which are just purely, through your leverages, are always going to be lacking, because that's the way you move. If you've got super long legs, you're going to have to work on your quads through an accessory movement, because simply you're not going to be biasing them in normal compound movements like somebody with short legs, long torso. It's just the way it is, man. For the short leg guys, you're probably going to have to spend a lot of time with your glutes and your hamstrings, because that's what you're lacking when you move. It's just interesting. It's just interesting when you all kind of pile it up and you kind of think to yourself, how it all pans out. It's interesting. Anyway, let me get out of here, guys. I've got people coming over. I've got family coming over. I'm going to prepare a barbecue. We're going to have some drinks. We're going to chill out, see lots of friendly faces, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. I got to get out there, start a barbecue up, do the charcoal barbecue, which, we all love. I don't know how healthy it is, but we love the charcoal business. Anyway, guys, I will catch you guys in the next one. Appreciate you. Go say it.
Catch you guys next time. Peace out.